Out of all the cinematic superheroes that have come and gone over the years, I've always had a real soft spot for Blade. At a time when comic book movies were being Joel Schumachered into the ground in a blaze of campy neon silliness, Blade had the guts to be dark, violent, gritty and R-rated, starring a Wesley Snipes who was at the apex of his career, and giving us a cool, brooding anti-hero who made Batman look like a Rings of Power superfan. Goofy 90s CGI aside, it was great stuff that soon became a cult classic. It gave us bullet time a full year before The Matrix thought to do it, and in a lot of ways it kicked off the modern era of more serious and legitimate comic book movies. Yeah, I know The Crow technically did it like 4 years earlier, but Blade was way more accessible to general audiences. The 2002 sequel gave us a slicker, more refined product with better action scenes and a bigger cast. Unfortunately, the third movie, Blade Trinity, turned out to be a bloated misfire that failed to capitalise on its momentum. I mean, damn man, it's probably worth watching for Jessica Biel alone, and it basically launched Ryan Reynolds' mainstream career, but its underwhelming box office combined with a troubled production was enough to bring the Blade franchise to a screeching halt. But hey, cometh the hour, cometh the greedy studio looking to capitalise on old IPs, and when Marvel bought back the rights to the Blade character in 2012, they got straight to work by sitting on it and doing nothing for the next 7 years. I mean, okay, to be fair, there was apparently some talk about Snipes reprising his role for a fourth movie in the mid-2010s, but it ultimately went nowhere and no director was ever attached to it. It would be 2019 before Marvel finally announced a rebooted Blade movie, with Mahershala Ali attached to play the title role. And I'll be honest here, the announcement wasn't exactly met with thunderous applause. A lot of people were still very much attached to Wesley Snipes' version and were holding out hope for a fourth movie, and the idea of an R-rated character like Blade slotting into the family-friendly MCU felt about as natural as seeing Movie Bob at a salad bar. The obvious worry was that they were going to neuter him to go for that mass market appeal and lose the very elements that made Blade so cool and unique. As it turned out though, we didn't have to worry much about that because the movie was about to enter its very own production hell. Not much more was heard about Blade until 2021 when Stacey Osei Kuffour was hired to write the script, and if that name sounds vaguely familiar to you, it's because she helped to write the god-awful Watchmen series that was so popular it got scrapped after one season. Bassam Tariq was brought in to direct the movie, only to leave the project the following year over creative differences, forcing them to delay production. While they looked for a new director, they also decided to rewrite the script. Stacey was out and Beau DeMayo was brought in to replace her, and his big idea was to make the movie a period piece set in the 1920s.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Anyway, funnily enough, he left and got replaced by Michael Starbury, now the third writer to work on the project. And good news, they'd found a new director. Yann Demange, a French filmmaker with a grand total of 2 movies to his name, was brought in to handle directing duties. By now, the year of our Lord was 2023, a full 4 years after the movie was announced, and they apparently still couldn't get the script nailed down. Eventually, Starbury left and got replaced by Nick Pizzolatto. The 1920s idea was scrapped and the project was moved back to the present day. Finally, they seemed to be making some progress. Then, the writer's strike happened, shutting them down again. Shit man, if you told me that somewhere, somehow, a voodoo witch doctor had put a curse on this film, I would absolutely believe you because they just couldn't catch a break. By late 2023, things were looking grim. Ali was getting frustrated with the project and threatening to walk away, and really, who could blame him? That same month, Variety revealed that the planned script would have been female-led, because of course it had to be. It would have been all about the girls learning important life lessons, and would have seen Blade relegated to a 4th place character in his own movie.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Oh yeah, and the whole thing was supposed to be done for less than 100 million, which is less than half of what She-Hulk cost to make.
Really?
Real adult human beings actually thought that this was a viable idea. Just stop and think about that for a moment. Okay, that's enough. By the end of the year, things were looking up. The strike was finally over and work could restart on the project. Pizzolatto left the production and Michael Green, who wrote Logan and Alien Covenant, was brought in as the 5th writer. Unfortunately, by spring 2024, it all fell apart again when Demange decided he'd had enough of this shit and walked away. He was soon followed by Green, who got replaced by Eric Pearson, and they didn't even bother looking for a new director. By this point, Blade had been grinding on for 5 years and had now been through 6 writers and 2 directors.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Damn man, this film's got a higher body count than a liberal college girl. Anyway, this brings us at last to the end of our sordid tale, with the announcement a couple of days ago that the project had been delayed indefinitely, which is industry speak for shit-canned. And really, based on everything I've heard about this fucking disaster of a movie, I think it's the best result for everyone. Nobody in their right mind wanted a Blade period piece set in the 1920s. Nobody wanted another bait and switch girl power wankfest where Blade's a background character in his own story. And nobody wanted some second-rate low-budget piece of MCU garbage that totally dishonors the legacy of a beloved character. I mean, you're telling me that you were happy to shell out hundreds of millions of dollars on pointless trash like Agatha, She-Hulk and Echo, but you expect a Blade movie to be held together on a shoestring budget? Honestly, the fact that they went through 5 years and 6 writers and still couldn't crack the character, despite having literally a trilogy of successful movies as their template, tells you exactly how little the Marvel of today understands what makes Blade work. I'd expect Mahershala Ali to walk away pretty soon too if the guy's got any common sense. He's wasted 5 years of his life trying to get this thing off the ground. He's 50 years old now, and that's not a great age to be launching a new superhero franchise that would probably mean signing up for the next decades. He's better off without Blade, and I think in retrospect, so are we. As old Wesley so rightly said,
"There's only been one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade."
Oh yeah, and just before I go, I want to totally shill for myself by letting you know that brand new Critical Drinker and Critical Doggo plushies are available to pre-order now. Both of them have been redesigned to appeal to modern audiences, and they make great little companion pieces to keep you company while you slowly make your way to the bottom of the next bottle. If you order them both together, you'll even get a 10% discount automatically applied. But hurry, dear viewer, because they're only available for the next couple of weeks, and once they're gone, they're gone. Either way, the link is in the description, so feel free to take a look. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.